Welcome to the third in a series of 4 screencasts for environmental health practitioners on the prevention of food waste in the hospitality and food service sector. I'm Catherine Timms, working on the Hospitality and Food Service Agreement on behalf of WRAP in Northern Ireland, and I'll be taking you through some good practice to prevent, reuse or recycle waste, especially food waste, which will help you to talk to hospitality and food service sector operators about waste issues during the course of your dealings with them. In this third screencast, we'll look at the waste hierarchy and where the greatest savings are, food waste prevention examples including spoilage, planning and plate waste, packaging waste prevention examples, food and packaging waste management examples including segregation for recycling, and small-scale composting and anaerobic digestion AD. This screencast will last for about 15 minutes. I'll begin by briefly recapping on the waste hierarchy. This sets out the main ways of dealing with waste and the order of preference in terms of environmental and financial benefits. Basically, preventing waste in the first place is the most desirable solution for tackling food waste. This is followed by preparing for reuse, recycling, other recovery, and finally disposal. Implementing changes that prevent waste should be the starting point, with recycling, recovery and disposal options being considered only where waste cannot be prevented. Prevention is where the greatest environmental and financial benefits or savings are to be found. It's plain good business sense, and some of the good practice I'll come to also makes good food safety sense too. The food and drink material hierarchy provides more detail around each of the options and which ones are more preferable. For example, sending food waste to anaerobic digestion is considered to be more preferable than composting. An example of good practice is Suzanne James, Zero Waste to Landfill event caterer. It has developed a number of approaches to avoiding food waste. The risk of food waste is minimised by carefully calculating exact amounts of food per person, adding 10% in quantity on top to ensure there's enough food for second servings and for the event staff. The exact amounts are prepared off-site and then combined at the event and used as and when needed. This means that ingredients are kept separate and can be kept longer if unused. Suzanne James won the Best Business for Sustainability at the 2011 South London Business Awards and proves that it is possible to reduce food waste at a larger scale. Next on the list of areas to target for prevention is customer plate waste. There are 3 main approaches to preventing customer plate waste. Firstly, consider offering different portion sizes to suit different appetites, lighter eaters and children. Secondly, apply good portion control by working out optimum portion sizes and keeping to them by using standard ladles and measuring cups as well as by weighing. And thirdly, adapt menus so that items that customers often leave are reduced or made optional. All these initiatives will help to prevent plate waste. The first signatory to the Hospitality and Food Service Agreement in Northern Ireland was the City Hotel in Derry. The hotel has been committed to reducing the amount of waste it sends to landfill since its opening in 2006. The hotel takes its commitment to reducing its impact on the environment seriously and has achieved gold status in the Green Tourism Business Scheme. One of the requirements of this standard is that food waste is segregated from the main waste stream to help maximise the amount of recyclables that can be recovered. After carrying out a food waste review, the company noticed customer plate waste was a significant component, and since then they have made changes to their menu offer, reviewed portion sizes, and tested different kinds on presentation of garnish to get customer feedback. One company that has put some of these ideas into practice is Green King, a signatory to the Hospitality and Food Service Agreement. Green King has almost 2,500 pubs, restaurants and hotels and brews beer as well. Portion size is one of the issues people talk about when asked about the food they waste when eating out. And offering different meal sizes can make a real difference to the amount of food left on plates. Green King has taken this on board by providing menu options for more mature guests and 2 meal size options for children in its Old English inns. They now have a Golden Years menu for more mature guests, specifically tailored to satisfy lighter appetites, a children's menu suitable for children between 7 and 10 years, and a juniors menu suitable for children under 7 years. If customers do end up with waste food on their plates, you could suggest that the businesses consider offering takeaway boxes as a service to their customers. A survey by the Sustainable Restaurant Association found that 83% of the public would ask for a doggy bag or box, but they don't think they can or are too embarrassed. There are different styles and designs, some of them quite elegant, so even top-tier restaurants wouldn't feel embarrassed using them. Guidance from the Food Standards Agency on offering takeaway boxes for leftovers is available through the Love Food Hate Waste Resource Pack for the hospitality and food service sector. If a business is taking food waste issues seriously, then why not suggest they make the most of it by putting the Love Food Hate Waste logo on their menus like these 2 examples. The one on the left is quite small type, but it says, "We hate waste. Although it is good business sense for us to sell more, we would prefer that you don't order more food than you can consume." The next key area for hospitality businesses to reduce waste is to target packaging. Actions to suggest to businesses include arranging deliveries in reusable crates instead of one-trip boxes, redesigning takeaway packaging to make storage easier, protect food better and minimise waste, minimising double wrapping of food, whether it's food being delivered or takeaways, standardising packaging as far as possible so it's easier to manage, store, etc. And using refillable bottling stations for water and carafes to serve wine bought in bulk. Stratton's Hotel is an excellent example of how hospitality businesses can minimise waste. A small independent family-run hotel in Norfolk, Stratton's managed to save over £16,000 in 1 year, 2010-2011, by reducing food and packaging waste, increasing recycling to 98%, and making savings in other areas, such as good housekeeping and water use. Where possible, the hotel buys in bulk to reduce the amount of packaging, and has arranged with suppliers, including a local brewery and a fruit farm, to return cardboard boxes for reuse. Other products are delivered in collapsible crates, or collected in cloth bags that can be washed and reused. This also keeps the use of plastic bags to a minimum. Egg and mushroom boxes are stored and returned to local suppliers. Organic food waste is composted in a wormery, leaves and garden waste in a leaf bin. All plastic drinks bottles are recycled, and some clear bottles are reused in the kitchen. All other glass is recycled. Having done as much as possible to prevent, reuse and recycle waste, there will probably still be items that need to be managed as waste. Even Stratton's, with 98% recycling, still had 2% of waste material to deal with. I'll briefly look at waste management good practice next. Effective waste management relies on good segregation, and the main ways that businesses can improve on the segregation of material for reuse, recycling or disposal include setting up easy-to-use internal collection systems to recycle as many waste streams as possible, clearly defining who is responsible for doing what, emptying bins, storage, etc. Defining collection points, bins and colour code. Label bins so it's obvious, even to a visitor, what goes where. Train staff so they know what the different bins are for and how to use them properly. and to monitor how much is recycled and how much less is thrown away. It's important that the results are reported to staff so they can see the results of their efforts. From the 1st of January 2015, the Waste Northern Ireland Regulations 2011 require businesses to segregate their waste for separate collection. This means that all paper, metal, glass and plastic must be separated, ready for collection and recycling. Co-mingling of these materials is not regarded as separate collection, so contractors and/or local authorities must ensure that these materials remain separated from other waste streams following collection. In Northern Ireland, environmental health officers will be involved in the enforcement of these regulations. Increasing recycling will benefit virtually any business, and a waste review will identify if there is enough volume for separate collections of some materials. These can be as simple or as detailed as a business wants to make them. Some waste management contractors even offer a free waste review. It's worth finding out. Sites that already have recycling services may benefit from minor adjustments to add more materials or collect things in different ways. If you are visiting a business that wants to deal with food waste that is unavoidable, it might be possible for it to be composted or anaerobically digested, either on-site or through a waste contractor. It is worth highlighting the basic rules for on-site composting and anaerobic digestion. There is a guidance document on our website which can be found at the web address shown on this slide. All the principles of good practice we have discussed are well demonstrated by Eden Caterers. Eden Caterers employs 25 people and caters for over 20,000 people each month. The company has implemented a number of measures to help it with its ambition to achieve zero waste to landfill. Each recipe is held on computer, which enables the amount of each ingredient to be tailored to the quantity of final product required. Eden's chefs can prepare each order with the confidence that the right amount of fresh produce is being used. This prevents unnecessary food waste by allowing more efficient purchasing decisions. Fresh fruit and vegetables are bought every other day from a local market. This enables Eden to buy only the produce it needs, which prevents waste by avoiding over-purchasing. Eden staff also select the produce themselves, which helps to prevent any additional packaging and transportation of goods. The company operates a first-in, first-out principle for all of its food produce. This ensures that stock is rotated regularly and all ingredients are used in order of delivery. The company also encourages its suppliers and clients to use reusable packaging. Where this is not possible, Eden promotes packaging optimization and tries to use recyclable materials. Eden has also introduced recycling facilities for the separate collection of paper, card, metals, plastics and organic waste. The prevention, reuse and recycling measures introduced by Eden have reduced the amount of residual waste it produces by 50%. If a business is thinking about recycling food waste, we've got online information advice and tools to help them make it work. The Food Waste Recycling website guides a business on finding a food waste recycling collector and setting up a new recycling system. The calculator tool helps a business to see if they can save money and recycle more by making some changes to their current waste collection arrangements. It's well worth them discussing the range of waste options available with their waste management contractor. And finally, another example of putting some of these principles into practice is the vegetarian cafe at the Garden Museum. To prevent waste, they make small batches of food to ensure that it all gets eaten and use vegetable peelings and tops to make stock. All the fruit and vegetable peelings, undressed salad waste, bread and cake scraps and tea bags, ground coffee and paper napkins go straight to their compost bins to make top quality soil improver for the garden. I mentioned some actions that the event catering company, Suzanne, has taken to prevent food waste earlier. This company has its unavoidable food waste collected by a licensed contractor, who takes it to be composted on an industrial scale. It is then purchased by London farmers. The company's waste cooking oil is also collected and made into biodiesel. Before I bring this screencast to a close, I just want to provide you with a few web links to some of the free online support and advice that you can find on our website. These online resources can help businesses to identify quick and easy ways of cutting down on food waste costs. The Online Resource Centre offers some simple top tips to cut waste within the operations of a typical commercial kitchen. And the Hospitality and Food Service Info Finder holds a wealth of practical and proven advice and supporting guidance. Essentially, it's a search and find tool which allows users to find out the information most relevant to them. So whether a pub wants to learn more about cutting waste from the customer plate, or a restaurant wants to see what others are doing, this is the place to look. And if a business is thinking about recycling food waste, we've got the Food Waste Recycling website with information, advice and tools to help them make it work. Well, that brings us to the close for Screencast 3. I'll recap on what we've covered during this session. We've looked at ways to prevent food waste by preventing spoilage, effective menu planning and purchasing, and reducing plate waste. We also looked at reducing packaging waste, example buying in bulk, using reusable packaging and optimising packaging, segregating waste and developing workplace recycling schemes, and small-scale composting and anaerobic digestion. Importantly, the information we provided here can help you discuss these issues with the hospitality businesses you deal with, because better management of food and associated packaging results in better food safety and less waste, which will save businesses money. Please do take a look at the other screencasts in this series, as these will provide you with a range of advice and tools you can take into your local businesses. And don't forget, any business can sign up to the Hospitality and Food Service Agreement. Thank you for listening. Please don't hesitate to get in touch by emailing hafs@wrap.org.uk if you'd like to find out more. Goodbye for now.